What comes into our mind when we think about God is the most important thing about us. This is a quote from A.W. Tozer. His purpose in saying this was to help us understand the need to understand the attributes of God. And one of the things that I'm teaching this semester is spiritual growth. And I've used Tozer's book to help us understand the need to understand the attributes of God, not just as an abstract idea or thought, but as the foundation for our own spiritual life. Because the goal of the spiritual life is to be like God. Since we cannot be God, the idea of being like God is to emulate Him, to become more like Him, and the way we do this is through His attributes. So we say God is love, therefore we want to be more loving. So as we understand the attributes of God, our goal is to become more like God. For instance, if we speak about the transcendence of God, Tozer illustrates the connectivity between all the attributes, so that as we see God's love, we see God's love not just as our love, but as a transcendent love, a love that is far greater than our love. As we see God's love, we see the power of God, His omnipotence. Therefore, we see His love as a love that is powerful beyond our measure. We see God's love as in respect to God's omniscience. And we see that God's love is not limited in its knowledge. So all of these things connected together help us to get a greater picture, not just of God, but of the goal of the spiritual life. In other words, what are we heading towards? These attributes brought together allow us to not just be Christians, but to grow as Christians, to grow towards our goal of being more like God. In the following sessions, I want to explore some of the attributes of God. I want to speak about the transcendence of God. I want to speak about the immutability of God. And I want to speak about the self-sufficiency of God. These are three characteristics that Tozer mentions in his book, The Knowledge of the Holy. And in exploring them for my class, I find that they're very relevant to us today. So I want to take some time to explain those to you.